our curettes. Okay, we're going to start with the Graceys, and we're going to start with areas 1 and 2 on the mandible. And remember with the Graceys that we have a high and low blade. They're area specific, okay? And we're only going to use the low blade. And when you look at it, you find the low blade, and the low blade is going to go against the tooth.
Okay.
And so we can't use the shank to determine the correct end because the shank is straight on both ends, okay? So we've got to determine it by, can we see the face or not? So if I were going in the toward direction, okay, I don't want to see the face.
You want the face against the tooth
Why?
because that's where the cutting edge is.
Right. Okay, and so, do you see the face?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the wrong end, right?
Right. See, do you see the face
Yes.
now?
Oh. Yes.
Okay, so that'd be the wrong end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the correct end, and now we want to go in at a 0 angle. Okay, because we're going to go down apically and explore what's there at 0, just like we did with our Explorer. All right, and then once we find the debris or the deposit, then we're going to open our angle, and we open it by slightly pulling the shank away from the tooth. Okay. Not off, away. And we want to be somewhere between 45 and 90 with ideally at 60 to 80 degrees. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the working end or the toe from here to here. Right there. All right? So everything we've learned up to this point still applies. Your position, mannequin position, grasp. What is different is now we have an instrument with a blade or a cutting edge. So we're going to insert with everything pulled as close to the tooth as possible. A firm grasp and a firm fulcrum now. Toe on. And then we're going to insert to the base of the sulcus if we were going really sub, and then we're going to pull slightly away from the tooth to open our blade. And it's not much, it's a tiny movement. And then we're going to apply lateral pressure on the coronal stroke, but no lateral pressure on the downstroke as we move this instrument around the tooth. And we roll the instrument toward the tooth, toe to tooth, with lateral pressure on the upstroke, not the down. But I'm not taking the instrument off of the tooth. Everything's continuous. Okay. Then I'm going to pick up my fulcrum. I'm going to move to the next tooth, and I'm going to insert at 0, and then open slightly, because that puts me on my cutting edge. And I'm going to apply lateral pressure on the upstroke, not the down, overlapping each stroke and making each stroke continuous.
And we're stopping at about the CEJ here.
I'm going at the cervical third,
Okay.
wherever that might be. Okay. Go in closed and open. And if there were anything on the crown, because this is used generally subgingivally, so if there was anything on the crown, we'd go for that as well, because you can't leave the crown dirty. And you might hit these upper teeth, so don't try to stay away from them. So as you come around the corner, you want your shank to be as parallel with the long axis, so you have to move your hand in that direction as you come around. Okay? So that was toward in area 1. we could finish area 1 by going to the away position. Or we could move to area 2 toward, since we're here. So what would y'all rather do?
2 toward.
2 toward. All right, so this was the correct end in 1. Would it be the correct end in 2?
No.
No, because my blade's gonna be, right, so now I'm gonna use the other end. So here, if it's wrong in 1, it's right in 2. Okay. All right, so now we're going to establish our fulcrum. We're going to pull and close toward the tooth, so I'm pulling in this way now. Insert, explore, and then I'm going to open. Lateral pressure on my upstroke or coronal stroke using the toe. Moving to the next tooth, insert, closed, and then open. And it's tiny movements so that I am somewhere between 45 and 90 degrees. And as you move from tooth to tooth, adjust your grasp and your fulcrum so that your fingers are still all together, because that's where your power is. Okay? All right, so now we have to finish 1 and 2. So I'm going to move to the away position, or 11:30. And I'm going to check for the right end.
Wrong end.
That's correct. That you're correct, it's the wrong end.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. So I'm going to use the other end. Now I can look down into the face, but I'm not looking at the face.
Right.
Okay. So I've turned my toe in the away direction. I've stretched my fulcrum down. I'm kind of coming in over these upper anterior teeth. I'm going to pull in close to the tooth and then slightly away to open with lateral pressure on the upstroke, not the down, and each stroke is continuous. And when I see my fingers coming apart or my grasp getting kind of out of sorts, just fix it. Closed, open. My elbows are in close. My handle now, notice on my instrument, I'm back here at this knuckle. Okay? Closed. Open. So always adjust your grasp when you feel like you need to. Don't keep going and it's wrong, because then you won't be effective in what you need to be doing. And it doesn't take but a second or two to fix your grasp. So you want to retract the lip. And there's stuff there that I'm getting. Can you? Okay. Now, notice that I'm coming straight up. I'm keeping my instrument open the whole time, right? I'm not opening and closing and opening and closing. I go in closed, feel what's there, get the lay of the land, and then I open, and we're scaling now. We're not exploring.
I'll pause you here, okay?
Mhm.